Hello, everyone. You are listening to the Untapped Mana podcast. I'm your host, Palmer Snell, and I hope you can join me today as we dive into the wonderful world of Magic the Gathering. So, jumping right into today's episode, there is a lot of information that's come out this week based on a new secret lair off of a kind of an internet sensation called Hatsune Miku. So, we'll talk about that a little bit later. Again, sorry if I butchered that. I really don't know how to say that too well. But we'll dive into that. We will also dive into the Modern Horizons 3 leaks that came from Magic themselves, so they're official, and I can talk about them here on the channel without being too scared. And the last thing we're going to talk about is my future hopes for Magic sets in the future, and that's going to be covering kind of Marvel, the Bloomborough, and then the 80s kind of horror set coming at the end of the year. So we'll talk about this more in the rest of the episode. I'll let everyone know once the actual information is taught, and then it's just going to be my opinions. So if you're not interested, you can back off. But we're going to be talking about the news first here. So if you're ready, then sit back, relax, grab a bag of popcorn, and enjoy the show. So starting off, we're going to be talking about Hatsune Miku, which, super sorry if I mispronounced that. But the Secret Lair is going to be Secret Lair X that and Sakura Superstar. So that's what the name is. We're going to be getting 6 cards. The first one being Shelter, which is a 1 colorless, 1 white instant. Target creature you control gains protection from the color of your choice until end of turn. And you may draw a card. The next is Miku Spark or Chandra's Ignition, which is a 3 colorless, 2 red sorcery. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power against each other creature and each opponent. So that's pretty cool. Harmonize, which I think we all know what that does. 2 colorless, 2 green sorcery, draw 3 cards. Again, all these arts look amazing and beautiful. I just love how they're all different stylized too. If you can see, I posted on my Instagram. Definitely go check it out. I mean, all these arts look amazing. But the next one is Miku Lost But Singing, which is the card Azusa Lost But Seeking. So that's kind of a cool play on words there. That's a 2 colorless, 1 green. Human Monk, legendary creature. You may play 2 additional lands on each of your turns. And another kind of card that's based on another one, Miku the Renowned, which is Feather the Redeemed, which is a 1 red, 2 white legendary angel. And it's also a creature. It's flying. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets a creature you control, exile that card instead of putting it into your graveyard. As it resolves, if you do, return it to your hand at the beginning of the next end step. Super cool there. You kind of just bounce back cards to your hand. And that's a 3/4. And the last one is Inspiring Vantage, which is a land. And when it enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or fewer lands. And that is a red and white. So that's what it taps for. So the non-foil pricing is going to be $30. And the rainbow foil pricing is going to be $40. So this looks super cool. I'm probably going to pick it up just for that Azusa. A good card, and it's worth, I know the original one, a Secret Lair, is worth like $35. So that might be something cool to pick up. But what is Hatsune Miku? So it is a music software developed by Krypton Future Media Incorporated, which enables anyone to make their computer sing by entering lyrics and melodies. As a massive number of users created music using the software and posted their works on the internet, Hatsune Miku quickly evolved into a cultural phenomenon. Since then, it has gained much more attention as a character involved in many fields, such as merchandising and live performance as a virtual singer. Now her popularity has spread across the globe. So that's super cool. I cannot wait for this. All these arts look so good. And again, I didn't really know too much about it, but the art looks amazing and the cards are great. So I'm pretty excited to get this. Again, I'm like 85% sure I'll pick it up. You never know how things are going to go, but I'm probably going to pick it up just because it looks so cool. So next, we're going to go into the Modern Horizons 3 leaks, and these are on the Magic the Gathering news kind of announcements. That's where it's from, so they're not just from a random place on the internet, so these are definitely going to be official. So starting off is Flare of Denial, which is a 1 colorless, 2 blue instant. You may sacrifice a non-token blue creature rather than pay the spell's mana cost and counter target spell. So we've talked about a couple of these cards in the last episode, but these are official. So it looks like this is going to have a normal traditional foil and the card by itself. And then it's also going to have the traditional foil and the retro frame traditional foil. So that's nice. And then there's also going to be a borderless kind of anime-esque full art card, kind of how all the Modern Horizons and the special sets give you special cards and special arts. This card's going to have the same exact thing. Next is, I'm totally going to butcher this, Chthonian Nightmare. It's Chthonian Nightmare. It's a 1 colorless, 1 black enchantment. Whenever it enters the battlefield, you get 3 energy counters. You may pay X life, or you may pay X energy counters, sacrifice a creature, return it to its owner's hand, return target creature card with mana value X from your graveyard to the battlefield, activate only as a sorcery. So that's really cool. Using the energy mechanic to bring cards back from your graveyard at a pretty low cost. And this also will have the retro frame, traditional foil, the default, and the borderless art. And the borderless art just looks purely amazing. So I can't wait to get my hands on that card. Next, we have Ugin's Labyrinth, which this is a mythic and is a land. It has imprint, so when it enters the battlefield, you may exile a colorless card from your hand. And it looks like, a colorless card with mana value 7 or greater from your hand. You may tap to add 1 color, so if a card is exiled with Ugin's Labyrinth, add 2 instead. And then tap, return the exiled card to its owner's hand. That's really good. That is really good. So you bounce it back. You get 2 mana, you bounce a card, exile, and then you get mana, and then you can bring it back. So that's kind of nice. You just get 2 mana, turn 1, if you have that 7 or greater cost in your hand, which this is perfect for an Eldrazi deck. I'm definitely going to pick it up. And this one's going to come with the borderless and foil and just the normal card itself. Next, we have Urza's Cave, which is a land. It is also a cave and an Urza's type, so that'll be nice, kind of falling into people playing with different Urza's cards and stuff like that. You can tap to add 1 colorless. You may pay 3 and tap to sacrifice it, and search your library for a land card, put it into the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle. So that'll just come, it looks like in the default. It may have a different foiling or a retro frame, but at the moment it just says default. So that's kind of cool. It's just the card itself. Again, Urza's are always cool lands, and so that one's definitely really interesting. So next we have Wit of the Reliquary, which is a black and a green. It is a creature. It is a zombie knight. It has vigilance. So it gets a +1/+1 for each creature card in your graveyard, and then tap, sacrifice another creature, search your library for a land card, put it onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle, and it is a 2/2. So it's going to have extended art and default, and then traditional foil. So that card is really cool. I think I'm going to probably use this, and I have like a steal your cards deck, and I mill, so I think that'll be a perfect addition to that. That card looks really cool. Again, it says, look at this card, see how clever we are, we'll come up with something. They put all these like quotations in each front of these cards, and they're pretty funny. The next we have a Spawn Gang Commander, which is a 3 colorless and 2 red. It is a creature Eldrazi Goblin, has devoid, so this card has no color. When you cast this spell, create 3/0/1 colorless Eldrazi Spawn creature tokens with sacrifice this creature, add 1 colorless mana, and you pay a 1 colorless and then a generic 1. Sacrifice an Eldrazi. Spawn Gang Commander deals 2 damage to any target. That's definitely interesting if you're going to be having a ton of Eldrazi and just do 2 damage to any target. So finish somebody off, finish a creature, and there's no tap, so you can do it as many times as you want. Next we have Kappa Cannoneer. Is a 5 colorless, 1 blue, is an artifact creature turtle warrior, so that's awesome. It is improvised, so you can use your artifacts to tap and pay for the colorless. Has ward 4. Whenever this or another artifact enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on it, and it can't be blocked this turn. It is a 4/4, so that's definitely going to be an interesting card. The art looks amazing. Turtle, I want to make a turtle deck. That'd be awesome. Next is my favorite card that's been leaked, and this is definitely going straight into my Monkey Artifact Destruction deck called Meltdown. It is X generic and then a red. It is a sorcery. Destroy each artifact with mana value X or less. So that's insane. You get people with like tokens and treasures and stuff like that, or just low cost artifacts, and you pay 4, so 5 in total. I mean, that is everything 4 or less just destroyed, and then I get a +1/+1 counter on each monkey or ape. So that card's going to be broken in my deck, and I can't wait to get my hands on that. Next is Felia Exuberant Shepherd. 1 colorless, 1 white. Legendary creature is a dog. It has flash. Whenever it attacks, exile up to 1 target non-land permanent at the beginning of the next end step. Return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. If it entered under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on it. And it looks like this card is also going to have a foil etch, so it looks like foil etch is coming back to the set. I always love the foil etched, and it's going to have the borderless kind of showcase like Command Masters did, so I'll be super excited to check that out. Next, we have Null Drifter, which we talked about this last episode. Is a 7 colorless. It is Eldrazi Elemental. When you cast the spell, draw 2 cards. It has flying and Annihilator 1, and you may evoke it for 2 colorless and a blue. So pretty excited about that. And it's going to have a retro frame, which the colorless retro frame looks really weird. It's like gray and brownish. So Can't wait till that comes out. Definitely going to put that in the Eldrazi deck I'm getting. Next we have Haragast, Erupting Nullkite. It is a 9 colorless. You can emerge it for 6 colorless and 2 red. When you cast this spell, you may exile your hand. If you do, draw 3 cards as flying. Each creature spell you cast has emerge. The emerge cost is equal to its mana cost. That's a mythic. That's going to be something very interesting. So what emerge does is you may cast this spell by sacrificing a creature and paying the emerge cost reduced by that creature's mana value. So that's a really cool thing, getting stuff kind of for cheaper. And again, it's an Eldrazi dragon, so that can go in Eldrazi Tribal. And oh my gosh, the borderless kind of showcase for this, it looks amazing. It's like this red dragon. Can't wait to get my hands on that. And the next one I can't wait to get my hands on is Kudo King Among Bears. It is this just massive bear king. It is a 1 white, 1 green legendary bear creature. Other creatures have base power and toughness, 2/2, and are bears in addition to their other types. And this is a 2/2. So you're going to be making a ton of just 2/2s and big bears. This guy is great. Can't wait to get my hands on that as well. A lot of these cards I can't wait to get my hands on. The next we have an instant is a Null Elemental Blast. It costs 1 colorless mana. So choose one, counter target multicolored spell, or destroy target multicolored permanent. So definitely go in the Eldrazi deck just for a 1 cost. That's pretty good. Just destroying something that's multicolored. Next is the Nethergoth, and I always mispronounce that, but it'll be 1 black. It is a creature, is a Lurgoth. Its power is equal to the number of card types among cards in your graveyard, and its toughness equal to that number +1. And it has escape for 2 colors and a black. Exile any number of cards from your graveyard with 4 or more card types among them. Definitely interesting. So that's going to be a mythic, and I know these Goths and all of those are always different, and we always see these in the Modern Horizons set, and so it'll be interesting to see what that card does. Not really sure how I feel about it at the moment, but again, I haven't seen how these cards are played, so I can only just speculate. Next is the Sylvian Safekeeper. It is a 1 green, it is a creature and a human wizard. Sacrifice a land, target creature you control gains Shroud until end of turn, and it's a 1/1. So nice little thing right there. Just sacrifice a land. If you're playing a ton of lands, you can get land graveyard retrieval, and you get Shroud. So that's kind of nice. Not sure how great that's going to be, but it may be useful. Next is Orum's Chant, a 1 white instant. It has a kicker cost of 1 white, and target player can't cast spells this turn. If it was kicked, creatures can't attack this turn. That's gonna be crazy. You're gonna shut down somebody's turn for 2 white mana. Definitely want to get my hands on that. And the special alternate art looks amazing. Winter Moon is our next one. Is a 2 colorless artifact. Players can't untap more than 1 non-basic land during their untap steps. Oh no, that's not nice. That's not nice at all. So just another card where you can't untap stuff. If you can pair that with a couple other cards, it can be very gross. So some of the commander cards, starting off is Siege Gang Lieutenant, which is a 3 colorless, 1 red, is a goblin, is lieutenant. At the beginning of your combat on your turn, if you control your commander, create 2 1/1 red goblin creature tokens. Those tokens gain haste until end of turn. And when pay 2, sacrifice a goblin. Siege Gang Lieutenant deals 1 damage to any target. So great in a goblin deck. You're going to be just making more goblins if you control your commander. Always love the lieutenant kind of ability. Next is Final Act. It is a 4 colorless, 2 black, choose 1 or more, destroy all creatures, destroy all planeswalkers, destroy all battles, exile all graveyards, each opponent loses all counters. Oh my gosh. That is disgusting. That's just going to be like, oh, you like your board? Okay, peace. And it looks like this is going to have a ripple foil, which can be found in the Collector's Booster, Gift Bundles, and Collector's Edition Commander deck. So it looks like anything in the Collector's Edition Commander decks are probably going to have an extended art or non, but it's going to have a ripple foil. So definitely excited to see what that looks like. Again, I don't know how I feel about the Collector's Commander decks. It's going to be something. They're really pricey. This set's really pricey in general, so we'll see how I feel about it. Maybe once they come out and I can see them, maybe I might want to get my hands on one, but at the moment, I really don't. So next is March from Velis Vel. It is a 2 colorless, 1 blue sorcery. Choose a non-basic land type. Each land you control of that type becomes a copy of target creature you control until end of turn and gains haste until end of turn. And has a flashback cost of 4 colorless and 1 blue. Next up, we have Planar Nexus. Now, this card I've seen, it looks really interesting. It is every non-basic land type, which includes the Cave, Desert, Gate, Lair, Locust, Mine, Power Plant, Sphere, Tower, and Urzres. So it taps for 1 mana, taps for 1 colorless, and you may pay 1 to tap and add 1 mana of any color. So that's going to combo really well with cards that say, hey, you need to do this with this card, or you need to do this with, X amount of types on a land or something. So it's cool that has every non-basic land. So that should definitely be interesting to see how that's going to play out. But those are all the leaks that are officially from Modern Horizons 3 on Magic the Gathering's website. So if you're just here for new news and you don't want to hear me talking about what my thoughts and ideas are for the future sets, then thank you for listening. Have a great day. But we're going to dive right into the Marvel set, Bloomburrow, and some of the later sets in this year and my goals for what I want for them. So with new sets coming out, we've already seen what's going to be happening from Modern Horizons 3, but let's take a look in the future of maybe what we want for future sets. So later this year, we're going to be getting Assassin's Creed, Bloomburrow, and Duskmourn, which is the House of Horrors, kind of 80s horror kind of set. They haven't really told us a lot, but my goals for the Assassin's Creed set, I really want, again, there's not a lot I want from the set. It's Universes Beyond, so it's kind of hard to mess it up, but I just want characters from all the games. I want weapons from all the games. I want other historical figures. I think that's really cool. Like, I know we already saw Cleopatra, and there was an artist, I can't think of his name, but real life figures, that'll be really cool to see more of. So definitely more of that. But that's really all for the Assassin's Creed. I haven't played all the games. I've only really played Assassin's Creed 2 and 3 and Black Flag. So I don't really have a lot of high hopes, but I'm very excited for the set nonetheless. For Bloomburrow, I'm hoping to see more animal archetypes and, I can't think of the word. Oh my goodness. More cards that go in tribal. That's the word I'm looking for. More tribal decks. So, for example, I want more monkeys and apes because I run that tribal. But I know more people want raccoons, which I know are coming. Rabbits, stuff like that. More cards to add to tribal decks that maybe don't have a lot at the moment, or cards that came out in the 90s that just never got included more. So hopefully that comes from that set. I'm really excited about it. There's so many things they can do with animal related things that are already in Magic. I mean, the Soul Ring, they can do something funny like a rabbit hole or something. Again, I just want to see funny takes on cards, but with an animal kind of turn. So should be interesting. I know a lot of people are really excited for the set, including myself. Next is Duskmourn. So they've said it's like an 80s horror movie. I don't know what to expect. And maybe what I want, kind of like they did in Innistrad, the Crimson Vow, where they had like Dracula and like Dracula's Tower. Maybe something like that where we'll get like Frankenstein. Maybe like, I hope a Secret Lair with like Freddy Krueger and Jason, stuff like that. But I hope to see maybe Dracula, Frankenstein, the lair, the beast in the lagoon, whatever it's called. You know what I'm talking about. Stuff like that. Kind of these different scarier creatures and horror movie. We'll see what they do with that. Not really sure, again, what they could do. Maybe this is going to be like a Ixalan or what, the sets that have something included with them. Like it's like a Jurassic Park tie-in, or like the Brothers War with the Transformers, where they just like include different movies and stuff. That'd be pretty cool. But again, we don't know too much about this set, so we can only hope. And a set we know barely anything about is the Marvel set, which I'm so excited for. I am a huge Marvel fan. I actually worked at a comic shop for a long time, so I've loved superheroes my entire life, and Marvel is probably my favorite. Next, DC. I like DC books, but I like the Marvel characters better. So what I'm hoping is, of course, that we'll see X-Men, Avengers, Fantastic Four, everybody. I want to see Eternals, Guardians of the Galaxy, everything. I also want to see maybe, like the Lord of the Rings set did, scene cards. I think that was a really cool addition. I know I collected a lot of those, and if they could do that with Marvel, that'd be awesome. Like an Avengers team up, or a Fantastic Four fighting Galactus, or something like that. Just different scenes put together with cards. And of course, I want the cards to match together. Like a Professor X, if we have that as commander, I want him to give buffs to other X-Men or mutants. There's so many cool things they could do. Things that I'm really excited for. I hope maybe enchantments will be the Infinity Stones. You can equip the Infinity Stones. Maybe that's what they'll do, like equipments, and they'll give you buffs. There's so many things that you can do with the set, and I really hope Wizards takes their time and puts a lot of effort into making it a really cool set. Let me know your thoughts in the comments of Instagram or YouTube, what you might want from this set, kind of your ideas, and what you may, if you don't know Marvel, what kind of superhero related things, like generic capes or something like that. I know I'm really excited for this whole set, but let me know what you think. Let me know what you think from the Modern Horizons and the brand new Secret Lair coming out. But we're going to be wrapping up today's episode. The last thing I want to mention is Zeke's Comics Games for being the sponsor of the channel and this episode. Huge shout out to Zeke's. They are in my Instagram bio, Untapped Mana Show. Definitely go check that out. Both their online websites. So they have crazy deals. I know tomorrow, which is May 4th, happy May 4th, everybody, is going to be free comic book day. So if you're in Central Illinois, definitely go check them out. Lots of deals store-wide. I'll be dressing up as Matt Murdock, one of the costumes I kind of threw together. So I always dress up. I love free comic book day. It's so much fun. So definitely go check that out. Little plug there. But reaching the end of the episode, thank you so much for listening. Definitely let me know all your ideas of what you want maybe for Modern Horizons and then sets in the future, what you think on the Secret Lairs. Throw me some magic. Did you play Commander games this week? Let me know. I want to hear it all. Throw me some comments, maybe what videos you want to see. I'm hitting a kind of a writer's block. I want to buy more product and open it, but again, that's not always financially the best thing. I have a couple Fallout deck openings coming soon, but let me know what you might want to see in future videos. But again, thank you for watching, and remember, never leave any mana untapped. That is, unless you're a blue player. Thank you for listening. Have a great day, and stay nerdy.